Hey everyone, today we're going to find out if this $200 four-wheel drive golf cart that I bought on Marketplace will run again under its own power. I'm Jeff, welcome to Kart Crazy. All right, thanks for clicking on this video. If this is your first time here, welcome. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Just a few housekeeping things I wanted to throw in here before we get started on today's video. My Facebook page, I don't probably talk about that enough, but Kart Crazy on Facebook, head on over there and check that out. We do some things that you won't see here on YouTube, so it's fun to follow along with that. Also, I have to say a big shout out to my channel sponsor, BigBattery.com. Been with Big Battery coming up on 3 years already, and I can't believe time has flown that fast, but they are a great company if you're looking for a lithium battery for your golf cart. They've got multiple options and great customer service, so head on over there. Save 10% with my promo code STEGGY10, and I'll post that on the screen here so you can see that, and save yourself a few dollars there. So let's jump into today's video. Well, here it is. Absolutely nothing has changed from the day I picked it up other than the fact that I brought it home. I put it on my wheel dollies here just to get it in the shop. It was sitting over at the warehouse for several months. I think I picked it up in December, if I remember right. We'd have to go back and fact check me on that, I guess. Can't turn it. The key that they gave me, it says RT on it, which I'm assuming stands for Ruff N Tuff, which is exactly what this cart is, but I think it's just been sitting outside so long that it's probably a little corroded. I was going to maybe put some WD or something down in there to see if it would break free. Otherwise, I think we can pop this cover off easy enough and get the lock, the steering wheel lock. It's like a car where it's kind of locked up. But what you see is what you get, other than the seat. It does have the seat. I took that off. I think it's upstairs in the attic. Just to keep it from blowing off on the ride home. Don't know a whole lot about these other than I see a lot of similarities to an E-Z-Go. It looks like a lot of the parts are going to be interchangeable. The back seat brackets and everything look like all E-Z-Go. Some of the dash is real similar. In fact, I've got one right here in the shop you can kind of look at. It should be real similar to the same dash setup, other than the fact that it's completely different, if that makes any sense, because, they've got their own speedometer and gauge setup and everything going on in here. Not that we're going to need it. We shouldn't need a whole lot of replacement parts for this cart. It was a running cart until the batteries went dead, the gentleman said. And I racked my brain and was trying to figure out, is it 48 volts? Is it 72 volts? Like I said, I've literally done basically zero research on these. And I'm looking all over. It looks like it's got a nice onboard charger, and it's got a status indicator, and scouring this thing over, trying to learn how to read Spanish so I can figure it out. All I got to do is look right here, 48. And of course, if you look a little closer, the output of the charger is 48 volts. So boom, that answers our question. So this cart had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a 6 battery lead acid setup in it. I did not take the batteries out. This is exactly how I bought it. Dirt and rodents and everything else that's in here. This is it. This is what we got. So my plan for today is give it a good once over and show you guys what we're working with. Looks like it's got a nice Curtis controller in it, so that's good. I see a couple of heavy-duty solenoids. I'm not 100% sure why there's two. My first gut instinct is the little one is probably an actuator for the front differential. Being this cart is four-wheel drive, you can take it in and out of four-wheel drive, and one of those is probably going to click something and obviously give us our four-wheel drive, so we can switch in and out of four-wheel drive and two-wheel drive. The tires are, they're okay, right? No, they're completely shot. They're bald and they don't hold air, so that's great. We can probably work with that, find some new tires for it. I have not looked in this glove box. I wonder if these keys work. Oh, kind of wants to. There we go. Is that a bag of cable ties? Score. That is a cabinet find right there for sure. We'll hang on to those. Wiring, for whatever reason, is tore out of it. I don't know if somebody was trying to... Well, look at that. We've got some twisted wires. Looks like maybe for the wipers. We've got one chopped off there. So if we can get this going today without burning the shop down, I think we'll be doing okay. Plenty of tree droppings and bird droppings on it. It was sitting under a tree when I went and picked it up. Looks like we've got some socks. If it gets cold, we could always throw those on. Maybe a bird's nest or something in there, not real sure. Did I open the back seat? I don't know that I did. Wow, there we go. I mean, it almost sits level. You could throw a couple pieces of firewood on there or something if you wanted. Roof seems to be intact. It's not cracked that I saw. I didn't look real close, of course, so we'll probably find one as we're walking around. Wiper blade, that's pretty neat. Not that we'd ever use it. And the body, even though it's faded, it seems to be really tough. It doesn't have a real weak, plasticky feel to it. You know, some of the golf cart bodies get real flimsy. This has obviously got the fender flares on it, being a four-wheel drive. And it's pretty stout. I think we could paint that or rewrap it. The front brush guard is really stout as well, in a really good shape, other than looks like somebody hooked a strap or something there, but a little work with a hammer and a dolly, and we could probably tap that back out. I did notice going to need some CV boots. It looks like they're tore on both sides, if I remember right. Well, if that one's not tore, it's not far behind. Brakes, I don't know about. I was trying to push this in, and I was having a terrible time, and they were squeaking real bad, like they're locked up. It does have an emergency brake, and I don't know if it works, because it seems like I was trying it. But here's your fluid reservoir. Can't tell if there's any in it or not. So we'll have to experiment with that. This is going to be the first cart that I've worked on with an actual, hydraulic brake setup. Is there air in the lines? It's pretty neat though. I mean, it is disc brakes in there. So if they would work, or if we could get them working, that would be pretty cool. I didn't look at the back to see. Oh yeah, it's got discs on the back too. I don't know if you can see that down in there. So here's my thought. I'll steal a battery out of one of the other carts I've got laying around, and we'll just kind of do some hot wiring. This, I'm assuming, is our negative. This is our positive. It's pretty straightforward. This was from the original charger, which, of course, this cart's going to get converted over to a lithium setup from Big Battery. In fact, if that's not on its way, it will be next week. The folks over at Big Battery are going to hook us up with a nice battery setup for this. I've got what looks like, and I'm pretty certain this is going to be the voltage reducer. Nice, decent size on the charger too. Too bad we won't be using that, but maybe we'll save it for another project. Other than some dirt and mud and, pine needles and everything else, it's pretty okay for the most part. I see the turn signal levers broke off. Looks like it's even got a hazard switch. A couple of cigarette butts in there that we don't really need. What does that say? Oh, look at that. There's an 800 number on there. I don't even know if this company is still in business. I mean, it's very well that they could be, or at least parts available. So without further ado, let me grab a battery. I think what I'll do is I'll set it on the floorboard, and then I'll just make some kind of makeshift extensions to get to our battery so we can power this thing up, get some air in the tires, and get it off of these dollies so we can kind of get it down on the ground, I guess. Okay, complete operator error on the camera. Forgot to hit the record button, so let me fill you in on what you missed here. I basically put an extension in with a bolt. Definitely don't recommend that, but in a pinch it works. And couldn't find a black cable, so we're going to use 2 red cables just to keep ourselves totally confused. But the black one, I did add a little black tape on the end just to confirm we got the right ends. I mean, obviously it's, 3 feet. I can look and see, but it doesn't hurt to be a little cautious. So we've got that plugged in and ready to go. I think we can go ahead and hit the power button and see what we've got, and then I'll have to come over here and see what we need to do to hotwire the key switch. But okay, power should be on. Let me grab my test light here, check a couple things. Obviously we've got power there. Got power at our solenoid, so that's good. Power on our controller. See what we've got at our key switch. Okay, I think it's just a matter of looping those 2 together and the 2 bigger ones. Since I don't have a wiring diagram, we're just going to kind of guess. All right. This is either going to instantly melt in my hand. Well, we got spark. That's something. Okay. So far, nothing is happening. So that's interesting. I should probably try to find a wire diagram for this, because I have a feeling this is our forward and reverse. Let me do some more checking on the just a quick look at the solenoid. I think we need a second jumper wire for our purple and red. I think that's what activates the solenoid, so I'll make one of those up. Whoa. Okay. Did you hear that? Boy, does that sound rough. Okay, we've got movement. The purple, what is it? Purple and red. That's what turned on our solenoid here. I saw that. Got a lot of corrosion in there. Boy, is it making a lot of racket. So, to me, this was forward and that would be reverse, but wow. Thing launches like a rocket. About ran myself over. No reverse. Not the end of the world. Certainly could have something to do with these being unplugged. I don't know what that's for. Is that anything to do with the wipers? Probably not. Is that our reverse? Maybe. Maybe. All right, dare we air the tire back up that went flat and just try to walk it around the block and see what we're working with? I did see, this is pretty interesting. So this is, can you see it? It's like a giant rock. Stuck in the suspension. I mean, how does that even happen? It's rubbing on the CV boot, so I'd like to get it out. There we go. There's a little Ozark Mountain souvenir, I guess. Oh, there's a nut down in there. That's not a good sign. Something's making a terrible racket back here, but let me clean some tools up and put some air in this and see what we got. All right, we don't have much time because the tire leaks about as fast as you can put air in it. So, so the brakes actually work. So that's a relief. We've definitely got some chatter going on. Tires are extremely noisy. I think we've got a drive shaft noise or something in there. Bad U-joint maybe. Well, it moves again. I don't know if you saw that. I actually got reverse to work. I just flicked the button back and forth a couple times and stepped on it, and it eventually went. We've got some major, I could probably push it, and we got some major bindage. Wow, it's like every CV boot is tore on this thing. So it's definitely restricted. Let me crawl underneath here once. Drive shaft and everything seems to be obviously intact. I don't see anything bent. Best thing to do would be just get it up in the air and try spinning the tire, see if we've got a brake. Maybe a brake hanging up. The brakes did seem to work and release, however, but you never know if you've got one that's being a little fussy. All right, well, there you go. Will it run again? Yes. Does it run well? No, not at all. That's as far as I wanted to get on this video today. Now we can start kind of digging in, cleaning it up, tracing down some of these wires and seeing what's what. Try to find some kind of a new ignition key switch if there's parts still available, or we'll make something work, I'm sure. But I'm happy. I mean, it moves and something's going on that it's chattering real bad and not functioning the way it's supposed to, but we'll get to the bottom of that. So that's it for today. Really appreciate you coming along. Like I said earlier in the video, just a few housekeeping things. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Check me out on Facebook and head over to bigbattery.com for your lithium battery setup for your golf cart. I'm Jeff. We'll see you on the next episode.